What's up, everyone? Welcome in. As you just heard, episode 499. We are on the precipice. This is the penultimate episode before we get to 500. So we're looking forward to that. Obviously, we do have big special plans for 500. But honestly, this could have been 500. If you're watching or you listen to the intro, you already know this is an incredibly special show because we are just, we're going down the list of our favorites, especially from that title team of 2008. We have had Tony Allen on, we've had Perk on, Scal's been on, the list goes on. Paul Pierce has been, part of a whole bunch of stuff we've done at the network. This is a treat, though, because I am not just blowing smoke. I'm not saying this. And Adam Kaufman, Evan Valenti here, as we always are. Eddie House is with us, who, of course, people are hearing from more and more the last couple of years as part of the broadcast crew, sometimes on the call, other times in the studio or remote, or, from his place in Arizona. But Eddie, I'm not just saying this. You could ask your colleagues who I have been pestering to help me get you on this show. You are one of my favorite Celtics ever. That era, obviously the new Big Three era, that stretch that you guys were all in town, especially that 5-6 years in particular, where it just felt like title or bust every single year. Just such a prime time for Celtics fans that they're only now starting to kind of hopefully relive again. So welcome in. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me, man.
So I've told we'll get the fanboying crap out of the way, and then we'll talk about Celtic stuff.
I thought you did that already.
No, it's not. No, it's not done. It's not
lay
done.
it on thick here, no. Eddie. We're not get the shot again here. Okay?
Yeah. It's. I mean, who knows? Unless all of a sudden you're like a monthly guest, I got to get it out of the way. I was telling
that can happen. We talk some numbers.
Yeah, that's right. I feel like that's what Perk said, and we haven't had him on in a little while. Go figure. I was telling Abby, she was on with us a couple weeks ago, Ev, that so this right here this is for the people watching, but I will tell you about it for just the audio crew. I'm holding up a Celtics Eddie House jersey. All right, this right here is a House jersey from back in the day. So I had season tickets when you were playing for Boston, and I don't have this closet full of Celtics jerseys, I don't wear them anyway. They're just in the closet, but I would wear them out to games when I went to games, and a Pierce one that I've had since I was a kid. I got a KG one when he came into town because you had to have it, and the only other one that I bought during that whole stretch of years that you guys were here was your jersey. I don't know, affinity for the spark plug off the bench, the microwave, I fell in love with here come buckets when Eddie House comes in. And I had such trouble finding your jersey. I feel like we need to talk to marketing people at the Celtics, because I would go into the pro shop after every game that I would attend just looking for the swingman Eddie House jersey. They're like, well, you could customize it. No, I'm not going to customize it. I want the Eddie House jersey. I got this jersey out of some dude's trunk who was selling it in Providence. That I had to chase this jersey down.
Damn. Hey, man, that's a faithful right there. That shows dedication. And yeah, let's push the agenda to get that jersey in there, because we get a little kickback for that. If you get
I believe it.
Yeah, you get a little kickback for that. So let's politic for that.
So the Celtics were taking money out of your pockets back then is really
what money out the pocket, right? But it was all good. We had bigger names, right? We had Allen, we had Ray, we had Paul, we had KG. I mean, between them three, and you still see them jerseys everywhere. So
sure. I
actually did see an E-House jersey. What game was that we just were the Laker game. It was an E-House jersey sighting. I was like, oh, look. I tapped Scal. I said, Scal, look. I said, I haven't seen one of yours yet.
Since I'm never going to experience this, obviously, what does that feel like when you see somebody wearing your name on their back?
Oh, that's cool. It's cool. Because if somebody has my jersey, that means they're a true fan. They really appreciate what I've done. So I appreciate that. It does make you feel good. It's definitely flattering. When you were somebody like Paul or KG or Ray, they're all over the place. So to see, sure. They used to have the T-shirt as well. They used to have a T-shirt with my number on it, my last name. You see those around the arena too. It did feel good to see that people were supporting me and definitely, bought into my style of play and then appreciated the way I played.
Well,
I only
ahead.
have one nerdy one, Kaufman, for Eddie. And like, I don't have the stat in front of me here, but I'm pretty concrete on this. Eddie, as the greatest catch and shooter of all time, like, are you jealous with the spacing today? Because it's like, I feel like you would I have a theory about Dana Barros. Dana Barros just was born in the wrong era and would be better today. I think you'd be better today with all the spacing out there.
Well, I mean, I don't drive myself crazy with that, and I wouldn't say I'm the best catch and shoot shooter of all. That's Steph Curry. I gotta salute, because he definitely is probably he is definitely the best shooter, and it doesn't matter if it's off the dribble, catch and shoot, spot up. He is the best. I gotta, give credit where credit is due. Now, am I up there as one of them? Yeah, I'll take that. But I gotta salute Steph Curry and give him, his credit, because that wouldn't be right, man. That would be unauthentic, and that just
I hear you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
So Evan and I were talking about you the other day, and sort of we're watching the trade deadline activity, and we'll talk about Mike Muscala's addition, obviously, and some of the movement around the East and what's gone on. But sort of I don't know, like the big takeaway amidst all the movement for me, because after at least the KD trade, and obviously Kyrie went before him, it was mostly on deadline day role players that were moved around, and there were guys that were going all across the league. But what was crazy was this, I don't know, this new norm, this new standard that you can get a role player for 5 second-round picks. There were almost 50 second-round picks that were moved on deadline day. As a former second-round pick, who obviously, flourished and had a great NBA career, did you feel a little disrespected? People aren't valuing the second-round pick as they should?
No way. It shows that it has a lot of value. You've seen a lot of guys that got picked in the second round become Hall of Famers, become fantastic, great players in this league. It's so many of them out there. It'll take forever to start naming them, right?
You look at Jokic right now.
Manu Ginobili. I mean, it's Michael Redd was phenomenal when he was with Milwaukee. I mean, there's a lot of guys that were picked in the second round that flourished. It was funny, because I didn't know much about Mike Muscala, right? I didn't understand what he was. So I did some digging and calling around, asking. And they said he's a stretch four. So first question I asked, I said, well, is he better than Luke Cornett? And it was funny, because what the answer was no. And then I was like, but he could score and shoot better than him. Okay, so Luke is a better guy around the rim. He's a better stretch four or a five. That's kind of a good mix to have. I looked at it like that's a nice mix. And I know one thing about Brad Stevens is he's not going to bring anybody in there that's not a professional, that's not a true professional. You see this team from top to bottom is lined up with true professional guys that get heavy minutes, that play, that prepare. Then you got guys at the end of the bench that really don't get that many minutes, but they prepare like they play every single day. Peyton Pritchard, for example, probably my favorite guy on the team, just on the fact that I know what it's like to be in that role. And I know how hard it is, or how easy, I should say, it is to go the other way and be like, you know what, screw this, I don't care. I'm just going to come get my work. I'm not going to, but he's a great teammate. He works hard. And when his number is called, he's out there. One thing he does, I love the fact that he pressures the ball. So a lot of people look at make or miss shots, right? Well, nobody ever in this league, or anybody that played basketball, has ever took a shot expected to miss it. You always take a shot thinking it's going in. Now, make or miss, we could deal with that. But effort things, Peyton Pritchard does a lot of things that don't show up in the stat sheet. But if you're watching the basketball game, it has an impact on the game. It has an impact with his teammates. So that's one of the reasons why I was so happy that we didn't trade him, because you need players like that. Those are kind of like glue guys, that might not get a lot of credit, but what they do is significant in winning. And it's all about winning with that guy, and especially this team. So I'm glad that we kind of stayed pat. We didn't really do anything and get rid of and break up our team. I also thought that we probably would see what the buyout market would look like. Maybe we get another player just to add a little depth there. But I think we would just be looking for depth. I don't think we're looking for anybody to come in and change the whole dynamic of how we've been playing. Because, when you're the best team in the league, right, you have been all season long. If you're not broke, don't fix it. There's no need to mess with that.
What are the emotions of deadline day? If I'm not mistaken, you only moved in season once, and it was when the C's sent you to the Knicks, obviously right on the trade deadline or on deadline day, whatever it was. But what's, obviously you brought up Peyton Pritchard. He's a guy who was hoping to move, not because he doesn't like Boston. He's just looking for an opportunity, and he doesn't really have it here. I don't know what your emotions were at the time when you moved to the Knicks, but what's deadline day like?
Well, I had no idea that I was getting traded until right when we pulled up to practice. And they were like, hey, man, they're going to trade you to New York. I'm like, get the out of here. I was like, no way. And as we're getting off the bus, Doc usually is the first one off, but he stayed on. And as I'm walking by, he's like, hey, sit down. Hey, slow. And then he just started telling me, oh, we're trading you to the Knicks for Nate Robinson. So I was pissed. You know what I mean? I was destroyed. I was upset because I'm thinking like, man, we got another chance. KG, hell, we got a chance where we can make something happen here. And they ended up going to the finals and losing. And quite frankly, I feel like if Perk doesn't get hurt, and if I was there, I feel like we still win that they championship. And I mean, that's kind of selfishly. And I wouldn't say arrogant, but confident on my side. I feel like I definitely would have been able to make some shots that other guys didn't hit. But as far as like the trade deadline, if you know your name is in it, that was the first time I dealt with it in season, so it was a little weird, a little awkward. I remember that day, like it was yesterday. So we had to talk. It wasn't finalized, and we were walking into practice. We were in LA, and I basically told Doc, well, it's not finalized. I'm going to prepare because we were playing the Lakers. I said, I'm going to prepare like it's not going to go through. And if it goes through, I just won't show up, but I'm going to prepare. So I went practice and all the questions. Like I never got media questions after practice, and everybody was around me asking me the question about this, about that. And I was just like, hey man, it's a business. I understand what it is, but it was a surreal feeling. It was almost, I was kind of numb at the time because it was such a shock and a surprise. So I was just like, that time is not cool for anybody, especially your name is in it. Like, I live here in Phoenix, and you have Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges, right? And I seen Cam Johnson's dad yesterday at the barbershop where I get my haircut. So just people don't understand what it goes. When you see somebody move, it's a whole lot of moving pieces and parts. It's not just a guy going to another team. Sometimes guys got to uproot their family. Sometimes guys because you have to leave right away. So now as you leave, you got all your stuff in another house. You got to get that packed up. You got to get everything situated. And say, if you're a single guy, that's a lot of stuff a lot of moving parts that you got to bring together while you have to, the same time, you have to get acclimated to your new home. You got to get acclimated. Where are you going to live there? Now we're practicing. Where's my minutes coming? What are our plays? What are the play calls? How does this coach like me to play? So it's like so much stuff that goes on that people really don't understand. Like, it's not as simple as just like, oh, we traded him, we got him, cool. And the other flip side of that, how Peyton Pritchard, kind of wants to go play for, stay. He was vocal about going somewhere else. The grass ain't always greener on the other side. So like, it was miserable when I went from a championship team, a winning culture, and I went to New York, and it was guys just wanted to get the season over with, and we're just done with the trade deadline. We have an opportunity. I'm looking at, we're like in maybe 4 games out of the 8th spot. So I'm thinking, hey guys, let's get this going. Nobody was really on that mindset. They had no mind of trying to make the playoffs. It was get the season over with, and then they could get home. Or 1, 2, 3 Cancun was so true there, and so it's miserable though. It's not. Playing on winning organizations, winning tradition, with winning guys, with winning coaching staff, to go somewhere where guys really don't care and it's easy for them to let go of the rope. That was miserable. That was like probably one of the most, most miserable 2 weeks, 2 months I've had playing basketball.
In that vein, though, Mike Muscala gets off the plane, puts on a uniform, comes out, and 4 of 8 from 3-point range last night, 12 points. How impressive is that?
And in general, those are the only shots he took. He went Sam Hauser on us.
It's all right. Yeah. It's ultra impressive, yeah? Yeah, shooters shoot, man. I mean, the rim is the same. The gyms are the same. The ball is the same. All you got to do is get a look. And that was what I seen yesterday, is that this guy can stretch the floor. He can knock down the shots. Now, can he be consistent with it? That's the one thing we're looking for. And I think his numbers are somewhere around 39 or 38% the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. That's very serviceable. Like, that's good. I mean, you could rely on that. So if he could be consistent with that, I think that gives us another
another way to attack teams, another way to space, to where it's going to be hard to double guys like Jayson and Jalen when they got the ball, or when Brogdon's coming off of screens. He'll be able to find. Same thing with Derek White. He had a phenomenal game last night, by the way. So, I just think that it's looking good. I can't wait for Marcus to get back. I mean, no rush, but I can't wait for him to get back and then all of it come whole again. And, fingers crossed, Rob stays healthy and stuff like that. I think we'll be right there, man. We should be playing in June.
Yeah, I mean, look, even just last night as a microcosm, they go out and kind of have their way with the Hornets. And I know Charlotte's not any good, but you don't have Jalen, and we'll see what this facial injury, how long or how this impacts him. And there was no Al, no Marcus, like you said. It's just sort of a patchwork, the hospital Celtics, like people have been joking about for years. And again, go out, figure it out. 40 wins before the All-Star break. We're not even at the break yet, and they're just cruising right now. You look around some of the movement around the East, and so the East in particular, because obviously in the West there was more, with Kyrie going to Dallas and Durant obviously going to Phoenix right by you. But you look at the East, and I would say incremental improvement for the Celtics with Muscala, for the Sixers with McDaniels, for the Bucks with Crowder. But like the Pirtle going to the Raptors. But there was no like dramatic improvement anywhere, right? Like did your vision or how you see the Eastern Conference really change much?
I did like Milwaukee's move. Like, that was a good move. Crowder would have been a nice addition as well, because you had another 3-and-D guy, somebody who could stretch the floor, knock down the three, but then also a defender that could guard multiple positions. So I think the Bucks did get better on that side of things. Everybody else didn't move the needle. Now, the trade that moved the needle for me, and it wasn't even the Kevin Durant or the Kyrie, it was all the things that the Lakers did. I feel like the filled all of the voids that they were missing. They plugged those holes up. They needed a point guard that could shoot, that could manipulate the pick and roll. They got one. Another ball handler that could take LeBron off the ball. He doesn't have to dominate. They got one. Malik Beasley, guy's a knockdown shooter. He could shoot the ball. He could score. Who's the other guy that they got?
Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Didn't they get another bit? Didn't they get a big? What's the other guy?
Mo Bamba.
Yeah. Mo Bamba.
Yeah.
So they add size, even though they had Thomas Bryant playing well, but then they add size that's youthful size. They add youthful size. So I like what the Lakers did. Now, I don't think that puts them over the top to win it. I think when you look at what Phoenix did, mortgage their future for right now, right? And it has to be now, it has to be now, because in next year, you don't know. I think Chris Paul's unguaranteed contract, he'll be 39, maybe going on 40. I don't know when his birthday is, but when you look at it, like, how much does he have left in the tank? And 4 first-round picks is a lot. So is Cam Johnson, young, just coming off in there, but felt like he was just starting to come into himself right now, shooting the ball, playing defense, nice wing defender. And then Mikal Bridges, I thought he was just a phenomenal. I thought last year he had opportunity to win Defensive Player of the Year. He guards 1 through 4, sometimes switches off on 5, depending on who those 5s are. He can really guard. And he's been starting to score the basketball. So I thought to lose 2 youngsters like that and give up 4 first round, you basically mortgaged your future for right. If it doesn't happen now, and if it doesn't happen next year, that's probably one of the biggest mistakes. And I don't call for people's jobs, but it'll be hard pressed for me to see that with the new ownership that they will keep anybody that was from the old regime there.
It's interesting, you look at the Nets, and obviously they went from being a legitimate title threat, or at least threat to represent the Eastern Conference this year, to now what they are, which is a kind of rebuilding team. Maybe they'll be dangerous in a couple of years. We'll see how they spend their money and all that. But I'll give Sean Marks credit. Like they did well in those 2 trades in terms of assets, future picks, like you mentioned, young players, bringing in guys that honestly are good, energetic, enthusiastic guys for 2 dudes that couldn't wait to get the hell out of there.
Right, but then on top of that, think about they had James Harden there. So now you have a young team. You got rid of all of the older guys. You have young guys that all have something to prove. Ben Simmons, I know he signed that contract, but he has so much to prove. Mikal Bridges, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. I know how he is. Cam Johnson, the same way. Spencer Dinwiddie, the same way. Finney Smith, the same way. Guys all have something to prove. Jacques Vaughn has something to prove. So I think they already have a pretty nice record right now. it will have to be a collapse, like a total collapse from here on for me to see them not even get into the playoffs or to play in. I believe they're going to get there. And with that young, enthusiastic team, I'm not sure how much noise they'll make, but the fact that they got there and they did it in a different way. So one way, Sean Marks went and said, you know what, I'm all in with the players. We're going to try to do this. We'll let them try to piece this together. I'll work with them. This time he said, no, we're going to blow that up. We're going to get rid of all the players who were causing a lot of noise. Now we're going to bring guys on a hoop. So you see two different sides, because if he didn't make that move, his job was on the line. So if they make the playoffs with all the confusion and all the noise, the moves that he made, he just bought himself some more time to be working with the Brooklyn Nets.
Are the Suns the most dangerous team in the NBA now, or is it still the Celtics for you?
The most dangerous team will be when they're healthy is the Golden State Warriors. It's the one thing about, I think people are kind of writing them off. And if you look at the West, how log jammed it is, from the 12th spot to the 6th spot or the 4th spot, something like that. It's 3 or 4 games separating, 5 games separating them. And I'm just scared of the Warriors, like real talk, because I feel like they're the one team that if you do turn the ball, and I think they got better bringing back GP, Gary Payton II. If you turn the ball over, they make you pay. And they don't make you pay by 2, they make you pay by 3. The way Steph plays, it's just like he gets whatever he wants. There's no way you can guard him, and you don't want him to get off and then somebody else get off. Clay's starting to round into form. If Steph is healthy, and Andrew Wiggins has been balling, that team is scary. That's a scary team to go against. So, like, coming out of the West, do I think the Suns could beat the Warriors in a 7-game series? Yeah, anything can happen. But I just don't think this. I think the Suns also lack depth. So they lost a little bit of depth to have that nucleus of what they have to go all in for it. I still feel like the Warriors have a lot of players over there. They could play. They have a perfect system how they play. And it'll be tough. They're going to be tough to beat. I don't care who's playing them, who it is. The Warriors are going to be a tough out, period.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And I'm really, the rest of the way, that the storylines are going to be, who makes the jumps in the West and all that stuff. But in the Eastern Conference, it's a little bit more simple. And one of the things I wanted to ask you when we, Adam and I were talking about, we'll have Eddie on, we'll talk about a few things. One of the things in terms of storylines that's really, got a lot of attention, a lot of buzz, for the Celtics is the minutes that Jayson Tatum plays. Now, everybody has an opinion on this. Everybody thinks he's playing too many minutes. I think it's pretty easy to see that, this is the guy that's played more basketball than anybody else over the last 3 years. Yeah, he's probably playing too many minutes. But here's the deal. I've never played professional basketball before. Kaufman, I'm pretty sure you've never played basketball before professionally.
Wouldn't have gone well, no.
As someone who's played basketball, like I look at Tatum, like Tatum's in incredible shape. I've never questioned whether Tatum's in shape or not. He always shows up in incredible shape. The guy clearly loves playing basketball. There's no question there. He loves being on the floor. He hates missing games. Are we making too big of a deal of his minutes? Because if anybody knows his body best, it's Jayson Tatum, or are we all on the right track here?
I think it's two things could be true at the same time. I think people understand that if you are playing so many minutes, maybe it does affect him. Remember, he's 24 years old. And I look at it like this. He's played a lot of minutes, but his usage, I don't think that he's not like how a James Harden or Luka is, where they're using him, the usage rate. He always has the ball, so he's going through picks. He's always bumping, and then he's defending, having to chase over screens or chasing in pin downs. He's not in those modes. If you watch how he plays, they pick and choose his spots when he does that. But for the most part, he's getting it in different ways where he's not taking a lot of contact. He's just getting to the basket, is not exerting a lot of energy to get his shot off, just coming off and letting it go. So when I look at his usage rate, it is not as high as a guy that you would think that played that many minutes. So two things are true. It's a lot of minutes are getting logged. And, one thing we do know is true is once, if you start getting tired, your legs go, your shot goes. That's the first thing that goes. I haven't seen any of that, and again, he's 24 years old, so young, he's just getting started. So, and it's a lot of these games that he plays these heavy minutes, we need him to play every single one of those minutes for us to get some of these wins sometimes. So it's the trade-off. the trade-off is like, okay, right now you're playing for seed and you want to have home court. We've seen how important home court was last year. If we don't take care of business and then we have to go play a game 7 somewhere else because we rested Jayson Tatum and he's fully healthy and that game 7 doesn't go how we want, but he had a monster game and didn't show any sign of fatigue, you look back and you kick yourself in the ass and be like, man, we should have just continued to do what we do and not overthink it and over-monitor it. He'll talk to him. He'll let him know, like, hey, man, I might need a break. I need a day or two, or I can't practice today. Let me just get treatment. I mean, when you're a superstar, you have that leeway. You have that communication with your coach. You have that communication with the training staff. You have that communication with the owners and everybody that's involved in the organization. So, yeah, two things can be true at the same time. And when we all see it's happening, he's playing a lot of minutes, but the usage rate is not as high. And as long as he wants to be out there and he communicates with the team, I think it's fine.
Eddie, we got you a few more minutes. I want to ask you a couple more things. One of which is, of course, just a few days ago at this point, LeBron James became the league's all-time leading scorer. You had the opportunity to play against him in some, whether it was regular season games, some very meaningful playoff series. You had not just a front row seat. I mean, you were there. You're out there. You're on the floor with him. What was it like to compete against this guy?
Well, I played with him my last year in Miami. We lost to Dallas, but it's a trip because you don't look at LeBron as a scorer, but he got all the points, right? And that just, to me, that shows his durability, right? He was a guy that never got hurt for it was probably 15, 16 straight years that some ridiculous where he never got hurt. Then he started getting older and, tweaked some things here and there and sit out. But to be a pass-first guy that's known as a pass-first guy, to have that record and then I think he's top 4 in assists, right, in top 10 in rebounds, it shows to how long he's played, but how long he's played at a high level. Because a lot of guys, not a lot, but guys made it to 20 years, 18, 19 years. Mm. But 15, 16, 17, 18, they fall off the cliff. This guy is still right here with it, playing at an all-time high level, especially for his age. I still think he got 3 more years at this level before he starts tinkering off. Just the way he takes care of his body, but you just, you marvel at the guy because of the fact of he stayed healthy. He was a great teammate. He's a pass-first guy. And then, damn the basketball side of it. Family, man. There for his kids, been with his high school sweetheart forever. I mean, it's a storybook fairy tale shit. Been with his wife for forever. His mama's been by his side. He's taking care of her. All of his friends that he grew up with, he put them in position to succeed. They didn't just suck him dry, leech off of him. He put them in positions to be successful. Now you see what they have done. Mm-hmm. And then he's built a school. He sent a lot of college. So you look at all of that. That to me that's what symbolizes greatness. Thanks. That's what symbolizes his greatness. Not only how great he was on the basketball court, but even off the court, he was even a greater person, a greater human, and unselfish. He was unselfish on the basketball court, unselfish off the court, and it just all come together. Good come to good, and God bless those who have a good heart.
Is he, is he the GOAT? I mean, even like Paul tweeted out after I'm not sure Paul could have counted backwards from 10 when he sent that tweet, but he tweeted out that LeBron was the GOAT at this point. You agree with that?
No. I mean, I think that LeBron is probably the best player who played for the longest and probably one of the the best overall player that we've probably seen with the combination of speed, size, strength, athleticism, ability to pass, ability to score, ability to rebound, right? But when we talk about the GOAT, like you're asking me, everybody in their prime, who am I picking? I'm picking Michael Jordan first. And then if I had the second pick and they picked Jordan, I had to pick LeBron, I'm cool with that. Or if I pick Kareem, I'll be cool with that. I think, and when you talk about the GOAT, it's eras. Different eras have their different GOATs. But then when you're saying like all time, I would have to go with the killer Michael Jordan, man. I just, when I just have to go with him. I mean, I seen what he done. I seen, witnessed it, and nobody ate when Mike was eating. Nobody ate. He had took 2 years off and he let somebody get a little something off the plate. But when he came back, he took everything. Nobody ate. Back to 2 3-peats. And that's where my debate goes with LeBron. Is LeBron went to 10 straight. So did Jerry West, right? Jerry West only won 1. LeBron won 3 more than him. We get all that. But other people ate. Kawhi has 2. Giannis has 1. Dirk has 1. Steph has 4. KD has 2. A lot of people got something while he was up there. You know what I mean? And Jordan never let that happen.
That's fair.
No, it might have been 8 in a row if he had, not had that baseball hiatus.
No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, the GOAT conversation is subjective. I think pending who you are at this point, but
and how old you are.
Yeah, that's true. Just to make this more Celtics focused here, just for a minute before we get Eddie out of here. You look at this team coming up, some tough games. You have Memphis, and you have I think next week Tuesday, the Bucks game is going to be huge. There's one more game after. I think they're in Detroit for the last game, Adam. Don't quote me on that, but they have the Pistons coming up and they have the All-Star.
Home against Memphis tomorrow, Sunday, and then at Milwaukee Tuesday, Wednesday versus Detroit, and then it's the All-Star break.
So the C's have a couple of, quote unquote issues. They're the best team in the league in terms of record. So the issues are we might be overblown this a little bit, but you look at health, you look at depth, you look at home court advantage, look at first-year head coach. Out of all the things that could possibly torpedo the Celtics playing deep into the playoffs, which is the most concerning for you, Eddie?
It'll probably just be health, because that's concerning for any team. Like, if you're not full healthy, it's hard for you to get it done. So that's the one thing, making sure that everybody's healthy. I see they do a great job with Al on back-to-backs. They've been watching and monitoring Rob on back-to-backs. We got to get Marcus back. And it's really, it hinges on health. We're a very deep team. The depth does not bother me. I think that's a great thing to have. The first-year coach, Joe Mazzulla, I think he's been going through his ups and downs, learning when to call timeouts, knowing when not to, finding the right rotation, finding the right combination of guys to play together, starting lineups. I think he's been tinkering with all those things right there, but it's all a learning experience. This team is built. All it is, Joe just doesn't need to get in the way. That's it. Like, this team knows how to play. They're full of professionals. He does have to manage some things, but at the same time, a lot of times the game unfolds and is telling its own story. And if you're into the game, you understand that story that's being told. And if the story starts going a little sideways, that's when you call your timeout. And you got to get guys back. You don't like how the offense been running. Hey, let's dial something up. I would like to see Joe and I've been saying this for a long time, to put Tatum in that mid-post area. I think it'll be a lot easier for him to get baskets. He'll have a lot of one-on-one matchups. If they do decide to double, it'll be clear-cut. You'll be able to put the other team in long rotations. We got so many guys that can knock down shots. We got so many guys that can put the ball on the deck and make plays for themselves and make plays for others. That, to me, that's something that they probably could get two to three looks like that a quarter for him. And that's 12 touches in the post, 12 opportunities to go one-on-one, or 12 opportunities where he's forcing them to double without having to fight the double team off a pick and roll. When they double you on a pick and roll, you're fighting that. You dribble it back. You're exerting a lot of energy. He has the height. He can see over the defense. He can just take a couple steps, move that ball. They'll be in rotation, and they'll be in a long rotation at that. And like I said, we got guys that can make plays all over the place. So I would like to see Joe do that, hopefully in the second half or even in the playoffs, because you might not want to tip your hand, but at the end of the day, basketball is basketball. We all seen everything that happened. Nobody has brand new plays. Everything is the same, just called something different. So, yeah, that's the one thing I would just like to see Joe do a little bit more, get him in that area. Also let Jalen work at that high post area sometimes too, just to get easier shots. We don't have to rely on the three all the time. That's the one thing that does kind of bother. Sometimes we live and we die by the three.
Eddie, last one for you. Arizona is the sports epicenter right now. You are on Celtics beat. Kevin Durant traded to obviously the Phoenix Suns. You got the Waste Management Open going on right close to you. And of course, Super Bowl happening tomorrow as we sit here right now between the Chiefs and the Eagles. What's your pick?
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I'm a Raider fan. It just sounds blasphemous to go with the Chiefs, but Amina Smith, she's pregnant. Her husband plays for the Chiefs, Deion Bush. I mean, I would be wrong to be pulling for not her to have her husband be successful. So yeah. I'm looking for the Chiefs to do it. What a year would they have? In the year of the Jordan year, they would be able to win a Super Bowl, have a baby, and hell, what if the Celtics win it all? What kind of year would that have been?
Yeah, they could each get a ring, right? Deion get a ring. Maybe Amina gets a ring as being part of the broadcast affiliate. That could be a hell of a year.
Everything.
Love that. love the sound of that. All right. Eddie House, thank you for hopping on with us, man. I know it's been a long time coming, so appreciate you making the time. Hopefully we can get you on with us again. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no problem, man, guys. Thanks for having me. You guys take care.
Appreciate you. Absolutely. Thank you.
Quick break to tell you guys today's show was brought to you by HelloFresh. When it's time for the game, the home gate, tailgate, but in your house, home gate like a pro with a limited time winning assortment of snacks, appetizers, and shareable sweets available at HelloFresh Market. Treat friends and fans to delicious barbecue baby back ribs, chocolate chip brownies, and everything in between. We all want to save money this time of year. Yesterday I went to the grocery store. It was astronomical. I got 4 things. It was $21. I got like bread, pasta, olive oil, and cheese. It's $21. It's outrageous. And with that in mind, HelloFresh helps you save money all year round. With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. All right? Don't go to the grocery store. It's a pain. There's so many people. It's and especially if you self-checkout. There's way too many people at self-checkout. So have it delivered to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it is America's #1 meal kit. Save some money today. Sign up for HelloFresh. Go to HelloFresh.com/beat65. That is BEAT, the number 6, the number 5 for 65% off plus free shipping. Again, that is HelloFresh.com/beat65. Promo code BEAT. 65% off plus free shipping. Okay, America's #1 meal kit. That is HelloFresh.
Wasn't that fun? Wasn't that a treat?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. I mean, we've been trying to have Eddie House on for a while. I love having him on. You know, it's interesting to always talk with a former player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we banter on here all the time, confident, and look, we are educated basketball fans. I'm not trying to talk us down or anything, but having a guy who played.
Yeah, it's a different level of education.
Yeah, right. I agree with that.
I totally, not to sound like an asshat, I totally forgot that at the end of his career, he played with LeBron. I mean, talk about having a front row seat.
Yeah, and losing a tough one. That's a tough one. In the 2011 finals when Dirk just freaking – that's the one thing. I don't think we give Dirk enough credit for the 2011 finals, man. He was on – I mean, he did it with like him and Jason Terry and a little bit of Sean Marion, but like it was a lot of Dirk, man. And just again, the games they lost, he was bad, but the games that they won, he was lights out. Lights out, man. Lights out.
We're gonna get out of here, but I was gonna mention this to Eddie, but we just I don't know, we were kind of flowing in a different direction, so I didn't want to circle back. And maybe it's a Celtics post-up thing that they're able to do over at NBC Sports Boston, or who knows, maybe like we can have him on the show. There is a very I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of personality to Mike Muscala that is going to, kind of like it took a little while for people to get to know Luke Cornett and how he just embodies all things weird Celtics Twitter, and he's just a funny dude. Like Muscala, I feel like there's something there. From, if anyone missed it, it's been floating around since the trade. Before that too, but on the Celtics radar since the trade, when he was with the Hawks, the rap video Muscala out there, it's on Twitter. Looking at him post game, he's rocking the hoop earring, which, like, if you got your ear pierced, no judgment. Had like my ear was pierced many years ago. You just don't see hoop earrings in 2023. That just so I feel like this dude is I'm interested in getting to know this guy. I feel like there's something there.
Yeah, and if he's going to continue to shoot 50% from 3 the rest of the way, that's going to be great too. Trust me. I was a huge fan, and nobody really talked about nationally, like all the national pods and stuff.
Yeah. And
I'm still listening to Low, so I can't, not exact Low yet, but Like it's either like Simmons is like, it's a whatever trade, or like Verno and KOC didn't even talk about it. Like this is actually kind of a big deal. Like Boston can throw some serious shooting around Jayson Tatum. Like it's I mean, like you're going to be split. You're going to have Hauser, Muscala, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, White if he's hot. Brogdon is a great 3-point shooter. Like this is going to be. I mean, if you want to have shooters around Tatum, like that, Luka would kill for this team. Like to have all these shooters. Instead, he's got Kyrie. But like this is
so that little does Luka know what's coming. Holy crap! That's
good now, though. It's good now.
Yeah, it's a honeymoon period. I mean, let's just hope for his sake that Kyrie goes somewhere else next year. If he sticks around, if he signs a new deal with Dallas, like that's the beginning of the end for the Luka Doncic era, or at least good times, good vibes out there in Dallas. All right, that was awesome with Eddie. Really a ton of fun, and I won't give anything away, but we have tentative plans for episode number 500 of Celtics Beat next week that we are very much looking forward to. Historic, you might say. So stay tuned for teases for that. We won't leave you to just the surprise of tuning in for the show. There will be teases once we know we are officially locked and loaded for it, and it will be a great time. So for, obviously, Eddie House, for Evan, I'm Adam. Thanks for being with us, and go Celtics. We'll see you later.